Duelist! We are on to round 4 of the Ultimate Duelist series. And for this, we have Shunping Zhu versus Ryan M. Let's get into it.
Not necessarily
Definitely
as much
think
the Fire King cards, but
Shunping is pretty nice.
the peak recursion, right?
Player, and Shunping is also a really good deck builder in my opinion.
On the field, really just
I was curious to see if he would be running Rescue Ace, because I did see him playing like the Rescue Ace tier limit variant. Not the Rescue Ace tier limit. Rescue Ace Horus variant. He topped the regionals with it. Like the most recent top he had was with that Horus Rescue Ace deck. But he's switching it up and playing pure Snake Eye. And then Ryan's playing Floowandereeze, a deck that has been tearing it up in a lot of these regionals. Shifter is base card for sure. So I'm interested to see. Because I do think that like this version, like pure Snake Eye, definitely is a little better versus Shifter than Fire King, for sure. Because Fire King just full to it, absolutely.
Trying to move as quickly as possible here. Try to get the game going. Maybe having a little bit of matchup knowledge, knows that he might need the additional time to try to grind his way through this matchup.
Certainly the players have been able to kind of take a look at what everyone is playing. This is very much a normal tournament scenario where you're able to kind of get up, walk around a little bit. So he might know exactly what's on the opposing board and just trying to get set up as fast as he can.
Is that a parallel exceed? Yeah, why are alarms not fucking going off in the building?
This has been gaining some popularity.
Shunping just summoned a parallel exceed, bro.
Two level 4 monsters,
get hype.
Naturally level 8 when they come out on the field.
We did see parallel exceed in that top 8 Peru regional deck list that I went over. So I assume he's going to be playing cards similar to that. To make it was this card that they were making with parallel exceed. Definitely seems like a card that could play around Shifter well as well, because you could actually make Baguska now. If he plays it.
He's really thinking about the extra deck the same way that he piloted Dragon Link. Well, now he's got some great Exceeds plays too.
Not trying to go any slower. Immediately links away the Link Revo and the Banshee into the Little Knight. Looks like Little Knight is going to banish the Banshee here.
Ooh. Fertile Flame Banshee just going ahead and getting to the banishment there, but already summoned back.
All right, this is a lot of body generated already. So adding the Birch to his hand so he's able to extend even further. There's not even the effect of Ash being used to go ahead and special summon another Snake Eye monster from the deck just yet. Looks like we're going to see the Little Knight.
Yo, I love how fast Shunping plays, bro. This man plays fast as hell. And then we got the apple already, too. Oh, my God. Yo, Shunping is looking nice right now. But, yo, they're both 1 and 2. I just peeped that. So, Shunping was bound to look nice at some point. I mean, he just lost 2. Yeah.
Effects of Appaloosa.
Yeah, Appaloosa, one of the few things that I think the Snake Eye deck can do, naturally at least, that is a hindrance to the Floowandereeze strategy. You don't really care too much about the destruction or the general removal, but like the effect negation is definitely what you want to look out for. So Ryan's probably not too happy about having to face the Appaloosa. And typically in the Floowandereeze strategy, you're not going to be playing something along the lines of Nibiru because you can't afford to special summon ever if you want to keep using your Floowandereeze effects.
You absolutely just need to normal summon and normal summon. But the reason why you get that many normal summons is because each of those Floowandereeze effects is giving you an additional normal summon. But if Appaloosa is going to be negating those card effects, well, you're not going to get that initial normal summon. So, unfortunately, you're only going to get that one bird and they will not flock together.
All right, looks like Snake Eye Ash is going to be able to use its effect, sending that Poplar from face up on the field, summon the Snake Eye Oak from the deck, Oak effect, going to be able to target the Snake Eye Birch, bring it out from the graveyard, and finally, we're going to use that Diabellstar that was added in the beginning of the turn from the Wanted. Not going to need to get a Flame Birch from the deck, just going to use the one that was set. Oh, and we're going to be able to set the trap card here.
I am a huge anti-fan of the trap card. I feel like the trap card is, like, I would maybe run it in the OCG, but, like, going second, I'm not trying to draw that quick player trap card. It's like 2 bricks for going second. People weren't even playing Crime in tier format. You're telling me I'm about to play that card? Yeah, no. Nah. I'm sorry if you like the trap, but I think it's a little garbo.
Deck is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of these players came into this tournament expecting to play against Floowandereeze.
Obviously, it's insane here. Because, you know, like protecting your big Appo with from talents using the trap is really good. Obviously.
Just with Flame Birch's effect, And just being able to bridge into that earlier in the play. Now you're finally going to be able to make that last Link 4 monster, unless you want to leave the Princess on the field. I imagine you don't want to if you want to bring up that IP Masquerena, but there is a consideration to leaving Birch on the field because Birch does have an effect on the opponent's turn exclusively to special summon from the deck as well. Oh, so yeah, you're going to be able to leave the Birch when you're able to use Sinful Spell spells, and I didn't realize he had not used yet.
Which is amazing because now the Bestower of Flames is in the graveyard, so the second a monster gets special summoned, you could destroy a fire and one of those Floowandereeze. So not only would you be able to negate the effect, but if there's any special summons at all that happen this duel, Bestower's ready for that too.
It looks like Shu actually...
I mean, I assume Shu knows he's playing versus Flu, so we definitely want to... What do we lose to? Like, double evenly matched, I think, is like worst case scenario. We don't care about Harpy's Feather Duster. It's probably just like literally double evenly matched. That is kind of rough, but we'd still keep an Apo. So I don't know. Doesn't sound that bad.
Show you that each of these players is playing this deck almost completely different. There are lots of nuanced variations on it, and that's what shows that these are the best duels in the world. They also have different opinions from one another, and there's no wrong way to duel, but right now, I think...
It's funny, too, that Promethean Princess doesn't have a graveyard effect versus this deck, really.
Not everything has been figured out yet.
But you can still use Divine Temple.
This is the interesting thing about a tournament like this where it's so small. Normally, a lot of players like to work together, and they want to try to make the best board possible, or like rather the best strategy possible. But oftentimes when you have this many players that are going to play against each other in such a small tournament where you know you're going to play against pretty much every single one of them, you don't want to talk to any of them, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think that might be why we were taking a look at the graveyard for the Infernal Flame Banshee. You think to yourself, maybe I should try this sometime. But that's not going to go in a Floowandereeze deck, so let's see what the... Oh, no. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that was plenty of interruptions on the field, and I think Ryan didn't want to waste any time here. He knows that he's not going to be able to even attempt to stop this. I think he was able to see the top card of his deck. It wasn't anything to really break the field. And Floowandereeze sometimes don't get to start.
I guess
playing,
it was just the 66.66% of the time.
That gets the entire engine rolling. Sometimes you miss on that too.
Feels bad, man.
Absolutely, depending on what your hand is. But the good news is Ryan has the opportunity to choose to go first, so this won't be a complete shutout of Floowandereeze, especially for those fans of the bird strategy back home.
So that's the weird thing here. Do you think, based on what we've seen so far, that Shu knows he's playing Floowandereeze?
He put up a very different board compared to what we've seen, but it's true that the deck is able to just do those different things.
Yo, he has Judge tattooed on his arm. Alright, yo, let's get in. Let's skip this though. But yo, Konami, give him a raise. This motherfucker got Judge tattooed on his arm. I got Necro's Mirror, so I'm a fucking super nerd. But
interrupt your
that shit's funny. Like, I don't know. Yo, we actually gotta like throw mad respect because you know we don't want to get
the card to the graveyard.
We want to stay on Judge because
Effect Veiler, Droll, and Lockbird.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right. We've been having a long day here, so all
I'm just trolling.
Shunping doing a great job of just kind of already knows what his game plan is. It's really
we're still not there.
Grab that Rubina back.
Rapid fire. Okay.
He's gonna be able to.
So you want map reveal Empen.
It looks like that's. I imagine it's a
Banish
Rubina, but it might not be.
Chainlink 1, Empen, Chainlink 2, or Eaglin, Robina.
He's going to be able to resolve, going to be able to add a, what is it, level 5 or higher?
Believe so.
Bro, I played so much Flu and Master Duel.
Not every day you see Floowandereeze. I'm sure the Master Duelists
Ooh, we got Ash Blossom.
Definitely are feeling it, but it's great to see Empen there too.
We definitely wanted to Ash Blossom the Eaglin. This is like the best opening you can have with Flu.
Rubina is going to be met with Ash Blossom.
Because like now he can just still normal summon Empen. If we did it on the Eaglin, if like he opened Rubina, it would have just been so much better because then we could have at least prevented him adding a level 7 monster.
As well, so you can keep this chain going with the Empen here. Empen Chainlink 1, Eaglin Chainlink 2. Eaglin's going to be able to go back to the hand.
Hits keep on coming, but nothing seems to be going on Shunping's side. The Ash Blossom was certainly a valiant effort, but it looks like we are furthering Floowandereeze.
And Eaglin,
he probably grabs the DD Crow.
You have a couple options, right? Normally it's something along the lines of Dreaming Town, maybe you
want actual DD Crow, but the Floowandereeze DD Crow, right? Oh no, he got ashed on the Rubina.
Or even cycle some cards from your hand, but it looks like we are just going straight for that Dreaming Town, which is going to be able to, in your opponent's main phase, give you a normal summon, which is going to be able to start this chain all over again. But let's not forget, about its secret effect in the graveyard. When you conduct a tribute summon, you can banish it, set all of your opponent's monsters face down.
And that's so strong because obviously with a Link summon-based deck, as Shunping showcased all those fine Link monsters,
That's why Cosmic's so good,
a
though.
Link summon when the monsters are face down. So you're absolutely right about this anti-meta pick. It's not just about banishing the graveyard. It's also about interrupting those options and making sure you can't summon. So Shunping's got a lot cut out for him, but he's going to go ahead and draw now.
Okay, there's one monster in that hand. It is a copy of Snake Eye Poplar. But we do have one, and there's plenty of engine as well.
One, it's good. We're definitely not trying to normal summon if we're Shunping to play around map.
Obviously, that's what got you, this
So
far.
Shunping's meaning
droplets,
droplets, talents, Parallel Siege, Roll Mockbird, Ash Blossom.
The Wanch is going to grab the Diabell Star here.
So his only hand traps seem to be Ash and Droll
I mean, do you
Mockbird.
even lead with the Poplar now, or do you just give it up? You have infinite
And
permanence.
then he's just playing power spells like, oh, and Imperm. Wonder what his ratios are, because like, to be playing droplets and talents too, I guess it could be 15 cards. You have hit room for 15, but he has Monster Reborn as well. He probably sided out, maybe, yeah, he probably sided in droplets because it's like the most sideworthy card. It's good versus like Voiceless Voice, random decks like this, Floowandereeze, you know.
M-Pen is at least a little bit more manageable because you're able to summon a Flame Bridge in defense and just push it down. But it looks like we're going to just be leading with the Diabell Star, holding the Infinite Permanence in hand for following turn.
Summon successfully. I'll summon target Ash.
Poplar is going to be able to leave itself in the graveyard, go after a different
Yeah,
fire
I do
monster
this
with
every
the Ash
time.
Blossom.
I'm always targeting
And
Ash
there
with
is the
Poplar.
Featherstorm!
Oh, man. Harpy's Featherstorm, obviously one of the best
Pack 'em
Floowandereeze
up.
cards ever printed.
Pack him up, dog.
Yeah, if it's one bird, they're all the birds, right?
Yeah, birds of a feather flock together. I'm sure the Harpies would get along with them just fine.
No cap, that's the second time he made that joke.
I think the entire point
Or,
of Floowandereeze
I guess he
is
said
all
that
the friends he
phrase.
made along the way.
Yeah, I'm a
Surely there's
piece
one
of
Harpy
shit.
in there.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to attempt to keep playing, going to be able to put the Birch on
I
the
feel
field,
like-
giving up
I feel
the
like
Diabell
Yu-Gi-Oh
Star.
players are literally just like the worst autocorrect, like in a human body. Like it's so bad.
Any resources as possible. What you're really looking for is a copy of Divine Temple now. So as soon as Ryan starts playing, he's going to be able to play as well. Temple's going to be able to push up a monster from the back row.
It's wild that all of these powerful cards meant to stop plays, such as Ash Blossom and
Is that
Harpy's
Nibiru?
Featherstorm, haven't really done a lot to change the tempo of the duel. Really, this is
Yo,
about
no matter
the
where
deck
you set
itself.
these
That's what's
cards,
carrying the
bro,
duel.
I don't think it's
Now
winning
Ryan still
you the
has that
game.
Dreaming Town
Like,
as soon as Shu
it is a
attempts to leave the main
Nibiru.
phase
Was
here.
he just thinking of setting Nibiru?
Potentially able to summon another copy of Empen, or maybe just
What's
climb
going
up
on?
something along the lines of Mist Valley Apex Avian, just to have an interruption set on the field before having to start his own turn. Yep, there's Eaglin, and there's the
Yeah,
Rabina.
he's about to put
Yeah,
Ryza to
Dreaming
the
Town
top
paid
of his
off.
deck. This is a game.
He's also, if he does conduct a tribute summon, able to reset that Birch.
I don't
So
even
Birch is
think he
going
has to
have
play
an effect to
into
attempt
Nib this
once
whole
it comes
game.
to Ryan's turn.
Or like, I don't even think he will play like
Certainly
into it or
helps that
play
it
around
really
it.
is
Like,
just a
he doesn't
series
even
of
have to
heads-up
play around
plays,
it.
and I think this is obviously what we were hoping for before.
Because he doesn't have M-Pen already in his hand, so
Take a quick
like,
look at the graveyard before we're
because he
searching
doesn't
that.
have M-Pen, I
Finally
don't
getting
think
to
he's
bring
gonna
out that
summon 5
level
times
for
ever
Beast.
for the rest of the game.
Can't quite make that up from the bottom corner, but I'm sure we'll get to see it soon.
Yeah, in Shunping's graveyard, there's a Poplar, an Ash Blossom, and a Diabell Star. Oh, and Ryza is just going to go after the couple sets here.
So Ryza will target this.
Oh, yeah.
and
That's even
this
better
top to
target.
deck, and then I'll target that to hand.
Great to see Rise of
The
the
hell I
Necromancer
was
doing what
thinking.
it does best.
Go to the top. Yeah.
Put that baby back
Certainly
to the
to slow
top.
down Shunping.
We need that for next turn.
Kills or nothing. Nope. And then what was it? Eagle.
Being able
Can't
to play
forget
resolve
that.
here, Eaglin will go back to hand. That's what really makes the Floowandereeze so powerful, right? The inevitability, all these cards just giving themselves right back to the player.
No, it's a very strong deck, and it's a very strong series of cards. You're absolutely right. I mean, you can see Floowandereeze in the Dreaming Town. It really is about the friends that it makes along the way. Sort of a migration circle in all the places you go in between. But speaking about going in
Shunping
between,
still has some
Monster
normal
Reborn,
summon.
the Snake Eye Poplar.
Which still can't activate its okay, yeah, I was about to say, you still cannot activate its effect, right? The Birch is going to be able to respecial summon itself because of fire is on the field.
Mm.
So back to being a live effect now.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Love seeing that Monster Reborn, by the way. It's a great
Yo,
picture.
he must
great
read
art.
in like
Yeah,
milliseconds.
You know, when you're playing such an anti-meta strategy such as Ryan, you think
Oh,
part
sorry.
of doing so is like placing the cards like he does, so unorganized, just to maybe more so infuriate your opponent, because I know it infuriates me.
It's definitely one of those things where obviously the judges, you see, they're making sure that everything is exactly where it's supposed to be zone-wise. But
infuriated
he also
out
may
here.
just be playing fast and loose. He's excited. Maybe he smells the blood in the water.
Shout out all the flu
All these
haters.
effects off, and obviously Shunping hasn't done as much. We are going back into the deck here, just cycling through.
Yep, going to be able to use the map again, get access to a different normal summon. Going to go for the toucan, or sorry, the Stree here. Stree's effect is to normal summon and banish a card.
We
from
aren't
either graveyard and then
toucan.
get that additional normal summon.
We are toucan.
Stree's going to be added back to hand. Eaglin is going to be able to resolve. I wonder which big tribute he's going to go for now.
I think we've seen every one of the Floowandereeze so far except Snout.
All right, that could be another MP.
It's like wild he
That's a
didn't
lot of levels, so I
bounce
think
his
it is another
Ryza,
MP.
right? I feel like it's so wild that he didn't bounce his
Looks like
Ryza.
we're going to be normal summoning that Stree now. There's not much in his
Just
opponent's
Stree targets.
graveyard. He's just going to be banishing his own Dreaming Town, which will make it more accessible.
We're gonna add
Up
back
there in
the
your hand in the
Dreaming
sand this
Town
time,
off
just able to
the
keep it moving
level
on.
1. The last
Again, you
blue.
can actually see Floowandereeze, the magnificent map. That is the entire migration cycle of our Floowandereeze,
Oh.
and you can kind of see
Yeah,
all the
another
different
Nib
pinpoints
dead.
there of where it's gone along its journey. We've
Another
actually got the
Nib
full
dead.
graveyard,
We
and
still
this
have a
is really
normal
where having that
summon.
Mist Valley Apex
So if we
Avian,
have-
having that full
We
engage
somehow have
here,
Empen
too.
in our hand this game.
Right, so Apex Avian now finally on the field, going to be able to stop the Birch. Ryan is just going to
I
want
mean,
to
it's
close
just
this
game no
game
matter
out.
what. We
Might not
still
be
have
able to
the
do it just
heartbeat
yet 'cause
trap
those two
too.
bodies are blocking him.
It's like why I don't even
There's
think
the Toucan
Flu
gonna be
needs
able
the
to add
barrier
back the bench.
statue. Like it literally
Dreaming
doesn't
Town that
even
he did
matter.
this turn, so he's going to be able to reset it, just keep this flow going. Robina is going to be able to normal summon as well off the Toucan effect, and then of course the Stree is going to be able to add itself back to hand. And
There
then-
and back again, a Floowandereeze journey.
And here's another tribute summon here for another M-Pen.
Now, the second M-Pen is super important because you cannot just get rid of that first M-Pen and suddenly
think
get
I
your
used- I
effects in
used
attack
the
mode
spell.
now. Got to deal with both of them.
But didn't use the band.
Yeah, I know I use this one for sure.
Yep, go ahead.
These are good to. Okay.
Right, so Eaglin and the Toucan are, I believe, going back
Yeah,
to hand.
I don't think any
And M-Pen finally gonna be
any
able to
level
grab another
ones
card
being
here.
not added are gonna save you now,
What are you even
bro.
looking for? It seems like you pretty much have everything.
Honestly,
Flame
don't know
Birch
how you're saved, so
as
we're just
be
gonna
here,
skip
but you can
this.
attack with the Avian over the Flame Birch.
This
negate
is
the Flame
wild.
Birch and just keep
Like how is this game still
game
happening?
going.
Might as well go ahead and put that back to your hand and negate.
56. 56 ones.
Okay.
55, yeah, sorry.
Basically cleared his guys. He's probably gonna get nibbed now because he has Avian.
Going to be drawing into 2. Not going to be a whole lot that you could draw into in this
First
position.
shuffle.
Yep.
Well, especially given the setup that we have
if I
here,
draw 2
it's
new
going to be
cards.
very difficult, and it would not be hard to get the Apex Avian back in the field. So it's one card in the hand, but it's one card in the hand that's going to have to play through all of that. And
Maybe
then
the
when it
nib's
comes out,
actually
well,
gonna be
we'll see.
insane here, but like you still
Opting to
can't
put back
normal
the
summon
Eaglin
on
as
your
well as the
turn.
Toucan. So keeping the Stree,
So I'm like,
Stree
the
potentially being
nib
one of the
definitely
stronger
could be insane here, just because now he doesn't have a winged beast for his trap card. But he has the other trap, so he can literally just activate it in main phase and then activate. Yeah, there's just no way. There's just no way.
Especially with all those set trap cards, he has additional ways to get
Skit.
monsters on the board.
Alright, what was
Can be quite threatening.
Things where, you know, this duel could end fast, it could end short, but the great news with Floowandereeze, they always have a way
Bro,
back
why do I
in,
feel like
almost
Shunping's
a full
gonna win
power.
somehow?
Various other decks we've...
Oh,
We interrupt this broadcast for anti-spell fragrance.
I don't think it was necessary,
Just
but
kidding.
Ryan just wanted to make sure that this game is over.
Well, I mean, it would be a bad
yeah,
time
play
for a
that.
change of heart. Turn that to a
There would
Jack
have
Burner
to be
go.
like some judge call
Don't
for
have to worry about
Shunping
that
to
with an
win.
anti-spell fragrance. Also going to see
Oh,
our
he
Dreaming
passed turn
Town
player
activate.
priority?
Yeah, I believe Shunping attempted
This is banned.
to
Yeah, that's
pass
bad.
turn, but he's going to just opt to keep playing here with the Dreaming Town. I don't think it's quite necessary. I think the Nibiru token would be able to attack over the Nibiru for that 2,500 points of damage.
1, 3, target.
Certainly would, but wants to go ahead and
Target
keep
back
committing
to
cards to the board. Going to go ahead and use Stream.
So, M-Pen gets banished. This goes
Oh, it looks like Stree is going to be going after his own graveyard here to keep resources available. So he's able to tribute now with your opponent's card because of the spell. You remember his name again.
Oh, it's going to be the sunset that you're looking at over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Battle. Yep. Okay, I not think you keep nibbing against me.
Unexplored wins.
Unexplored wins, that's
Yeah.
right. There's so many tongue twisters when you're commentating a Floowandereeze match, but that's all she wrote after seeing the Miss Valley Apex Avian. Honestly, I mean, another negate, it's
Yeah, we
such a
need
strong
to
card. You know, it came out in an era where they didn't
I'm
expect you to
surprised
be
he
able
didn't scoop there.
Gravekeeper's Inscription.
Like, I'm just trying to think, like, why wouldn't
Simple
she
close of Betrayal
scoop there?
Severa the top 4 here,
way
so they're playing
before.
with everything they got.
They have to, because if not, unfortunately, while they still may be eligible for that top 8 prizing, they won't be eligible for that.
It's like now there's only
amazing rank
16
that they're
minutes
looking
left in this
for.
game. There could have been like 30 minutes in this game.
Looks like Shunping is going to take the lead here.
Stand by. Stand by. Shift.
Whoa.
There it is!
Oh, there it is. I love the smile.
Yeah,
by the way.
33%, 1 out of
Like,
3,
you knew it
bro.
was there. Like,
You knew it
stand
was
by.
coming.
And there it is. We are not going to see any cards going to the graveyard.
At least not for a little while.
Did they just add a minute to the clock? Am I tripping?
No more foot.
That's still a strong start here. You're going to be able to get access to Snake Eye Poplar, and I don't think it's immediately done for the Snake Eye deck when you get hit with something along the lines of Dimensional Shifter,
No,
because you have access to Temple.
Exactly. We talked about this earlier in the broadcast, that no duelist gets this far and just loses to a single card, right? If you know that Shifter obviously is strong against your deck, you've formulated different play lines that you can make just through that. And so we're seeing that exactly now as we go ahead and go from Snake Eye.
Yeah, I agree fully. I F with Divine Temple heavy for this reason. I feel like the only job you have right now as a Fire King Snake Eye player, or even pure Snake Eye player, is beating Shifter. Like, how do we make our deck stronger to Shifter? And that rank 1 shit, the one that like protects you so you just don't die, and then you like can make a Zeus, that's so bad. Like, compare that to like tier format where they were just making Baguska. Like, Baguska is so much more powerful than any rank 1 you could make. So that can't be the answer. So I feel like that's the biggest problem that Fire King Snake Eye and Snake Eye have, is just like Shifter. Like, literally, because decks in the past, like these, all the Shifter decks are just as powerful as they were before, besides like Cashtiro when they had a Rise Heart. So like, it's basically just the same stuff. And like, of course, Parallel Exceed is another way you beat Shifter. So like, that's insane.
We could, but I wonder if we're going to see an Infernal Flame Banshee again.
I guess that gets access to Birch as well, so you have several layers of an, or you can just go straight into an IP Masquerena here.
All right, 50-50. It's one or the other.
Well, okay, at that point, if you're overlaying, I think it's the Banshee.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could have a
This Banshee's
fancy way
not
of setting
bad,
his
right?
materials. Could be a showman.
Okay.
At this point, we have enough bodies represented to maybe potentially go into an Appaloosa as well. Really hoping that Ryan doesn't have anything to follow up with the Dimension Shifter here. Looks like we'll be grabbing that Birch.
Yeah, Dark Charmer is also another very good card for Shifter. Just gives you a free, it's like Ash, gives you a free length 3.
Oh, it looks like he did open that copy of the Silvera. Not going to be useful without Diabellstar on the field.
All 3 imprints next to each other.
Do you think it's going to come up that the Snake Eye monsters are significantly stronger than the Floowandereeze monsters with the temples on the field?
They are. You know, I've been playing a lot of Snake Eye on Master Duel, and I love Divine Temple for that reason, because it is a little weird. Sometimes you do find yourself in a situation where maybe you don't need to make the Flamberge or any of the other combo monsters. You can really just assault them with level 1 fire monsters.
1100 is a huge boost. That's probably the biggest boost any field spell's ever given.
Wetlands, right? Wetlands has the water boost for 1200, doesn't it?
But just, okay, think about comparing Wetlands to Temple.
Okay, you're right. We were just doing raw numbers, but it is true that Divine Temple of the Snake Eye is an incredible card. Wetlands is just a good card.
Yeah.
Banshee's going to be able to act.
Part of me is thinking like maybe we could have just kept the 2 Parallel Exceed bodies, and then just made Dark Charmer to have an extra body. Unless I don't know what Parallel Exceed does. So I don't know how much adding that Pyro mattered.
Again, you do not get this far without having a game plan for when one of your mechanics is locked out, right? There's so many different
Yeah, and then our
things
Appo
that
would
are
just
in
be
this game, whether
bigger.
it's the graveyard, the hand, the banishment, etc. But when one of those gets cut off, you cannot fold the duel, right? You can't just say I surrender. And this is what Shunping's doing as he
Oh,
summons
Appo
another Snake
and
Eye
IP?
combines them.
Too? Well, I
Suitably
guess
for
then
another
it-
Link monster.
I guess it really just didn't matter.
I think maybe an IP Masquerena? Yep.
Yep. Sure.
You could have like kept Birch in deck. That was the whole thing.
It looks like this is going to be approaching the end of Shu's turn here. Gonna
We
be able
know
to
it's
set
not
that one.
Imperm,
I
'cause
think
we
it's
saw
just the
3
Bluff
instead.
Silvera right now, unless there's a way
Could be
to
Cosmic.
magically put
Cosmic's pretty
a
good going
Diabellstar
first.
on the
Could
field
be
for Shunping.
Droplet. That would
Well, the
suck.
deck's certainly powerful, but I
'Cause
don't
we're
think
under
that is
Shifter,
going
so
to
you
be in the
actually-
cards for Shunping.
That's why one reason why I don't like
Certainly the
Droplet
energy
as a
that
main
Ryan
deck card
had
is
after
it
discarding
doesn't
the
solve the
Dimension
Shifter
Shifters faded
problem.
out a
It's
little
just
bit, right? He
terrible
wasn't
for
completely
Shifter.
shutting his opponent out of the game, so he's going to have a great Floowandereeze turn. Let's see what he gets after drawing his first card.
Stand I mean. Yes.
You want to start with that magnificent map.
I'll do 6 for cost.
Oh, I mean, that's a good way to start, too. I'll accept that.
That could be a magnificent map. Let's see.
Yeah, usually Pot of Prosperity, you know, you sacrifice the ability to end the game that turn because you are only doing half damage, but Floowandereeze isn't really attempting to end the game as soon as it can. It just wants to generate its
Yeah, I'll
value
take
as
that
fast
evenly.
as it can. Well, that isn't evenly matched.
Definitely a visible reaction from Shunping and all the great cards there, all the different ways to banish, right? 2 evenly matches there. The dimensional
Gimme,
visual we were talking
gimme.
about earlier, a rivalry of warlords.
Gimme.
The thing is, if you are taking that evenly match, you're likely just leaving up an Appaloosa, and you have to deal with it. If you already have access to map as well as one of the birds, that's going to be strong enough. But outside of that, you might have to take something else.
Well, this might be a painful choice, but it seems like he's going for the evenly match. Interesting, they went for the one on the right and decided, no, I want the one on the left.
I'm ready.
I think he likes to. Okay.
Battle. Yeah, and battle. Yep.
Yep, opting to leave that Appaloosa on the field here.
Certainly the right pick, though, so every other card's going to get banished face down.
Now that the Oak is banished as well, most players only play one copy of that, so everything banished is going to be banished permanently. Oh, and do we have duality now? Can we find the other piece that we need? Oh, that's an Advent. That could get there.
Feels like the Advent's the thing to take. Obviously, the Miss Valley Apex Avion did a lot
So
of
I
work.
guess they
but
don't care if you
I don't think you wanna start
reorganize
with
your
it. You wanna
banishment pile.
Find it along the way.
I was always curious about that. You're not allowed to reorganize your graveyard, technically, right?
Let's put a pop back first. If that's not getting picked.
Again, great sportsmanship. These duelists definitely have played against each other. They're just happy to be here, but one of them's got to win, so Ryan's got to make his choice on this pot of duality.
This is 3.
I mean, can they even top if one of them won?
So again, for
Ryan
those in the chat who...
has-
Oh,
I think he has 3 other cards in his hand, right? So it's getting a
You're
little
just
thin.
playing
We've
for
played
fun, right?
3 powerful
Prove
cards
something.
back to back at this
Might
point.
wanna
Dimension
prove
Shifter, Pot of
something, you
Prosperity,
know.
as well as Pot of
I
Duality.
didn't go
But
1-3 at the UDS at
going to have
least.
to start actually playing the game himself here.
I'll definitely
yeah,
play to
those-
prove
those
that.
slot cards are great for drawing things, but you do have to play the
And
cards
it's still
you
good
draw.
for us
Whereas
because
you
we
can-
just, you know,
Definitely not.
these definitely are like
Alright, cool.
top tier
Okay,
representations
so
of
it's
the
not the
decks.
avian. The fact that he's even considering the
And like
prosperity
the
does not bode
concepts
well.
are so cool, like Parallel Exceed and the
I
Pure
guess
Snake Eye deck.
a lone Appaloosa is not going to get the job done at this point, right? He's not going to be ending the game for Shunping if Ryan is forced to pass, so he can perhaps bank on just being able to see another turn.
All right, put the prosperity back. Wasn't going to save that for a later duel, or later turn, I should say.
A later duel would be interesting. All right, do we see the Advent used immediately, or is he going to attempt to lead off with the normal summon? Okay, yeah, so there's the Advent.
Empen? Yep.
Going to be able to banish Empen. So as long as he has one of the more useful normal summons in his hand, like either a Ravina or an Eaglin or a Toucan, as long as it's not Stree, he should be able to be off to the races.
Stree certainly would be the worst choice right now, but we'll see what he happened to draw.
Empen. It's not a good one.
Empen might not be the best one, but it's not a bad one. As soon as you get access to Toucan, you're able to add it
No,
back. And as
it's-
soon as that's
it's
on the field, the
pretty
Appaloosa
bad.
will no longer be doing any work.
Like now we can't chain block the Apo. If it was any other one, we
None of those
could
cards are in the
chain
graveyard,
block
actually.
the
They're all
Apo.
banished.
Yeah, all them biddies are banished.
Yeah, this has been a very
Are
graveyard-free duel.
banishmented.
Ryan deciding what he's going to do there. Looks like we got our Robina.
Oh, it looks like another card in his hand is another Advent. That will allow him to keep playing on the following turn here, just making this Appaloosa just a
Pretty
little
sure
bit
you can go
smaller piece by
Robina
piece.
effect, it gets Apo'd, and then you can make Anima,
Sometimes
right?
that's really all you can do is just whittle down your opponent's ability to negate your cards.
Shit, I remember.
Oh, so
Ooh,
excited
maybe he
there,
has the
but
trap still.
got to make sure to mind our manners.
So now, if the Ravina's effect is negated, remind me, are you able to access your extra deck now?
Let's take a look at Robina's effect just so we can
Imagine
get
if we
a
didn't
full-
activate Powder Duality class.
True, true. Obviously, we're not special
Oh,
summoning
okay.
here. But taking a look
Yeah, I
at
forgot about
Robina
the
doing a little
duality.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Judge call here.
Meanwhile, it looks like we did find a Snake Eye Poplar here, which is going to be able to access most of the engine at this point, given it's unfortunately not going to be able to go
That's
into
Secret
Oak,
Village?
which is what he needs to generate as many bodies as he will require to put out a Flame Burge, and without any graveyard, it might not be able to do enough with everything gone.
Turning back to the text of Robina, by the way, you can only use each of the following effects of Floowandereeze and Robina once per turn and cannot special summon during the turn. You activate either effect. So if you're activating the effect, if it's the activation's negated, you're okay, but if just the effect is negated, and very many cards do that, then that would not stop it, because again, you would activate it at that turn, and that's a condition, not an effect.
Chilling 1, chilling 2.
But we've got our Yu-Gi-Oh! Judges here to make sure that all that stuff happens fine and fair.
The Poplar is going to be able to push itself back into the Spell Trap zone. Snake Eye Ash is going to be able to add a level 1 fire
Shunping's
here.
looking pretty good right now.
Likely just another Ash, that's all that's really left. Literally, it might be the only thing left at this point. But that is enough to put out a Flamebridge by using the effect of Ash, and maybe that'll be enough to get Shunping through this game.
It is true that while Robina by itself really isn't that threatening, if any of those face-down cards can get you back in the game, at least that means that you'll have that banished and kind of can begin your Floowandereeze turn from there, regardless of who turn it is.
I'm definitely
Let's think about
snap
damage at
putting
this point.
this
Remember, Ryan is at actually
Robina in the
8,500
spell
points of
trap
life
zone.
because
That
of
just
the Advent.
sounds so
That is
lit.
true. The Advent does give you an additional 500.
Putting those
We
monsters
are
in the spell
not
trap zone is
quite
so
close to
ridiculous.
Time, but that 500 life points could be important. Our judges are likely keeping track of that, but it is true that once you activate that, for those of you at home watching, the 8,000 on the screen should be 8,500.
The Appaloosa is, I believe, at 16 after using one of its effects.
That is correct. Shunping earlier said in the duel that it was a 3-material Appaloosa. So using one, that would bring it down to 1,600.
All right.
Because even if you chain
How
the
do we
trap
find
here,
the
it
death?
doesn't
How do we
matter.
find 8,500 in this turn?
Yeah, he's
I mean,
realizing
the game
he
is
messed
built
up really
around
bad.
8,000, so you would have to just put a
think so.
little bit extra on the board. Might be time.
Just need to
for
use the trap
something like
before.
Yellow Whale, right, going all the
Because
way
he probably
in,
just
but
doesn't have enough monsters
obviously,
now.
you know, you've still got to face
Ooh, that was
combos up,
nice.
So
I guess we could have predicted.
Well,
It was
looks
one of
like
those
we're
cards
banishing.
since it hasn't been doing anything.
All right, so this is a play I expected.
That goes to the
Flamebridge likely
graveyard.
use its effect, targeting the Robina to put it in the spell and trap zone. Advent chained and banishing the Robina as cost, but met with an Ash Blossom as well. So really limiting Ryan's resources, putting him on Drawbird.
We play
definitely has to draw a
Celine.
bird, just has to pray for it. And we've had
Yeah, I need
various
Ash
decks,
Blade,
you know, that if they get
I
that
need Ash
one
Blade.
card they
Well,
need,
first
the
I need second
entire
Ash.
turn changes.
Memphis 2? Yep.
Flamebird's going to be able to put back that Poplar here, just going to be able to generate more resources for Shu as soon as Ryan is not unable to
So what was my
get his
last
engine going. But there
Okay.
is one set
Yeah.
remaining. I wonder
So far,
what it
I'm
could
full.
be.
Gotcha.
Ooh,
We are drawing here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way we could have killed him
All it
with
takes is one
Princes.
normal summon here to get Ryan off to the races.
well, hopefully we get to see that face down card. Took a little
Link
check
two,
at it,
link
thinking
two.
about activating it. Take a look at the graveyard here.
Yeah, there's just no way.
As long as it's not Robina, I think. As long as you're not drawing
And
Robina,
Promethean
you should be
Princess
fine.
doesn't do anything for us too
That's
versus
a great
deck.
one.
Oh, yeah.
3 Appaloosa.
Sure,
We're
so
gonna go ahead and negate.
we're gonna cut off the Robina here. Okay, that maybe it isn't that great of a one because you can get a tribute summon, but it's not going that far. You can at least crash with the Appaloosa now, but I don't think you have that much life to work with anymore.
And it is a little scary. Obviously, you know, we've seen turns where people have to use their battle phase.
Maybe
to clear monsters
Princess
from the field that can
would
negate
be
card
good to
effects,
just add back
but
Ash
it doesn't usually
Blossom
turn
with
that
Sunlight
duelist's
Love.
way, right? That's kind of a symbol that you're not able to play through their
What's
strategy.
better,
So you just have to
Appaloosa
push
or
through it and then
Ash
give them another
Blossom?
turn. And sometimes giving your opponent another turn is your
Probably
last turn.
Appaloosa.
Ryan really considering his last set card here, the only unknown in this game at this moment.
Really thinking about. I got a little bit of a peek. It definitely looks like it's a spell card.
Right? Yep. Okay. Yeah, let's crash.
Yeah, we're gonna crash with the Appaloosa here, 800 to 800. The Eaglin will be banished by its own effect.
Good. Memphis. Yep.
Yep. Flamebird's going to be able to use its effect to bring out the Poplar during the end phase. Going to be able to grab another copy.
Oh, he does play
of-
Secret Village.
okay, no, we're going for.
Oh
the
no,
Snake
that
Eye
was the
Chase.
Snake Eyes spell.
Again,
It looks a
Shunping
lot
has
like
been
Secret
using
Village
so
from that
many
angle, I guess.
like basically the entire package of cards, right? Not just relying on the strongest of them.
Yep, now
but
he's
also the ones that are
guaranteed,
versatile in different
Omni Negate,
situations that may
too.
pay off here.
It's pretty nice.
I mean, at this point, you have Flamebirds and a monster, and you have targets in the graveyard, so you can just.
Just
Off to the
doing it.
races.
Put Diabell into the back.
This one.
Yep, it places Diabell Star in the Spell and Trap zone. And then during the end phase, you can banish it to actually move something from the Spell and Trap zone up into the monster zone.
Manic Snake Eye Chase.
Certainly, when we talked about Crystal Beasts earlier, I think you have a certain promise that we're honoring, right? Little crystal promise, because it's true. We haven't seen this back and forth of monsters from the Spell and Trap zone to the main monster zone since, well, Centurion, right? But this is a lot more active than that.
Centurions even are so interesting because they're continuous traps.
They are continuous traps, and there's certain situations where that could come up.
Oh, and we have the Snake Eye Ash as
Celine
well.
is one of those situations.
Oh, we knew that because it was added
because
off the
you
previous
can,
Snake Eye.
like, if your opponent has like face-up continuous spells that are monsters treated as continuous spells, you can summon Celine and still get counters.
It is.
One.
Doesn't want to discard it, but has to do it.
Discards the Flamebirds. The Flamebirds just live at this point, so that's another extra value.
Yeah, we got it. Hey, man.
And that's the
GG, Ryan will
game.
concede here. It was a Dreaming Town, not able to
Damn,
get
she was
those
looking
summons off.
nice. This
Eagle
deck
was,
actually looks
I
pretty
guess,
cool.
the
I
only
like
bird that didn't work in
the
that
inclusion of
scenario.
Parallel Exceed.
Well, the
If you
Nightmare
enjoyed
Pieces was
this
the bird
Flu
that was, of
gameplay,
course,
if you
the
enjoy
Fiend
saying
monster
Flu
card, but it certainly has the
lose,
shape of one.
please like and
Once he
subscribe.
was
I
able to clear
appreciate it.
that
I will
out, that
see
did
you
start
guys
the game, but
again
really
during
cool
round
to see
5.
that
Peace
Floowandereeze
out,
is still
duelists.
good.